Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video.
And still be and emulate Christ, still be like him in every way. And I think that we have to go back to Christ, you know.
Well, and I think that's pivotal, right? But we really need to understand who Christ actually was, not the picture that's being painted. And I hate to say this, but even in general conference, we get this painting of a picture that is not quite how Christ was on a lot of talks. You know, it's just more the teddy bear side of it. And I think because the focus is trying to be in love. And I think there's actually, with all due respect, Jeff, you know, Elder Christofferson, Elder Oaks have spoken and they've given talks in conferences. They've said, look, not everything that's talked about at this pulpit is doctrine. And people take everything that every one of those people talk about the pulpit as doctrine. I worked with some of those 70 that were speaking in this last conference and spoke before. And I'm going to tell you right now, during the whole lockdown issue, I got to be careful what we say because, you know, I got another channel on YouTube. We got it back actually, but the slap on the hand, the reason they took it from us for 10 months was because we mentioned the jab, the actual jab, and because we talked about the V word, right? What the jab actually is supposed to be. And so they warned us saying we can't talk about that anymore. So that's the new thing again. We can't talk about those anymore. I don't know. Maybe the bird flu one's coming out. I don't know what's coming down the road, but all of a sudden now we're being sanctioned for that. So we got to be careful there. Point being, we need to become independent in our spirituality and not codependent. And I go to church and I just see people are just the mantra of just repeating. They're not really searching for themselves. And that's going to be a problem for people when times get tough because they're not going to prepare for it. They're just waiting to be led. When Brigham said the first presidency is not going to say anything about defending that Constitution. That won't come till way later. Right now, they can't. Think about it. We just announced a temple in Venezuela. Imagine if we start talking about defending the Constitution, food storage, and standing for freedom. That temple would not be built in Venezuela. You know, we're trying to get into China. So the church's agenda is very, very different right now than what we need to be doing back home because it's a global outlook. It's a global outreach. But we got to protect the nucleus here as well. And that's all part of prophecy. But we don't know that unless we learn that. I need to get all this out and break it down and show everybody this stuff too, right?
Yeah,
to not just talk about it. Show it to them too, and show that, look, this is what Brigham said was going to take place. And this is what we as the saints need to be doing, right? So, you know, here's the thing. When you talked about that contention, now it bothers you. I'm, you know, it's just all over the place. I go into a store, Dollar General. I did a video on this because I just thought, wow, this is just so wrong what's taking place. And it's so flagrant. But basically they charged me $200 for 2 Amazon cards. And I don't really like Amazon, but we had to get something here right away. We couldn't find anyplace else but there. So I go in there and I get these Amazon cards. Don't want to support Bezos, and the computer says, the machine says that they're invalid. She charged my money, and the girl just says, basically, it was a whole issue. The girl just said, oh, too bad. I'm like, what do you mean too bad? Then I'm like, no, I want my money back. Nope, not getting it. And if you keep arguing with me, you know, we're calling the police. Like, what? So they got to the point where they said, leave. And the girl's mom was behind me. And she's like, you can't talk to my daughter that way. I said, I'm just asking for my flipping money back. I got upset. I started to get upset. And I actually said some things I probably shouldn't have said. I mean, it wasn't real flagrant, but I just got to the point where I thought they were little woke, little biddies. And mom was woke as well. And mom looked like she was on government substance, but they're all about me and I get my money back. So I go to appeal to the district manager. He comes and says, yeah, we screwed up, but we're only giving you $100 back because you already got $100 back. I said, I didn't get $100 back. Yeah, they show it. I said, no, they shut the till and didn't give my money back to me. Well, you got credit your bank account. No, I didn't. Here's my bank statement. Guess what? Disappeared. Not going to give my money back to me. I'm screwed. I can't get my money back. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to just go out there and I'm going to picket. And I'm going to go out there and pull a line. I'm going to get people together. And I thought, and how much time is that going to take away from my family? But yet I got to do something about it. I can't let it go. But by the same token, how much time do I put into something like that? Okay, it's small. It's small. The issues at church that are going on, this is the 3rd time now that people have just come up and just kind of like blasted us for some unknown reason, that some rumors they heard at church. And I thought, I go to church and I get attacked. That was my whole thing with the bishop. I said, I don't come here to get attacked. Just leave me alone, please. I don't want you guys to even talk to me. I have nothing in common with you other than our Savior Jesus Christ. So let's just talk about that, right? And I think that's where we're going because there's so much confusion and people can't make decisions for themselves anymore. That's what we
But
have to get back to. It's just Christ.
yeah,
That's the common ground, right?
yeah, I mean, look, I bought a car a while back. Probably wasn't the most financially sound decision I make. The kid that sold it to me was from Venezuela. He had just gotten here. He lied about a lot of things, you know. Um, I was upset, things that went through my mind where I'm going to get this guy deported and a bunch of other stuff, But you know, and I did tell him I would take him to court, because the engine was going to be bad. But I took it to a different mechanic and eventually got things worked out. The kid ended up not being quite as bad as I thought he was. He still was dishonest, the way he represented the car. Am I going to get my money back? No. Am I stuck with a car that I've got to fix, more than I want to? Yeah. Am I going to invest my time being upset about it? No.
But
No,
then again,
for the same reasons. Do I want justice? Yes. But at what cost? So, right now, I've got to choose my battles. I'm not going to go, after this guy. I'm not going to take him to court. There wouldn't really be that much there, so I work things out. Now I can turn around and sell the car, but I'm not like that. I can't just not fix a couple of things and sell it, and try to get my money back because I'm not that way.
it's dishonest if you did. So you're
Right.
honest. Yeah, that's the Christian value, the Christ-like attitude.
So everybody, we're going to come across things in life that are going to be difficult, more so now than I think than ever, because when there's less money or the inflation is created, more money, but there's less of it. Our money is less powerful. I think we're, like you said, we're going into a lot of really difficult things. The whole division thing, out in public, I really have to watch myself. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe that, I was a hothead before, I was, carrying a weapon, but that changed once I realized that there's a big responsibility, and we have a big responsibility as being members of the church to to direct our lives differently. How are we responding to people, even though we know that we've been wronged? And it's a tough call. It's really easy to jump the gun, but I don't mean that literally there. But the point that I'm getting at is, being Christ-like isn't always that easy. Eric. It's just I realized that even though I'm not at fault, I'm on the road. Somebody might flip me off and try to cut me off. I had that happen. I mean, other things are out there. We have good forces in our favor. I had this guy cut me off and flip me off. It was totally his fault. I wailed on the horn, and I was going to say some stuff to him, some choice words, but I didn't. I withheld that. You know what? A cop saw the whole thing and pulled him over.
Well, you're some justice then. I'm yet to see that justice take place with the people
Yeah,
attacking
but
us.
it happened twice in a month. Another similar situation. It happened. I'm like, where does this never happens? But well, I guess my point is and that's not always going to be that way. There's always going to be people that'll do things against us, and maybe that and they're going to get away with it. Am I going to let it consume me? Because
can't.
there's just, my children, my wife, they're just way too important to me. The people that I do love at church, and even a few of them that I don't particularly think are my best friends, I'm putting on the best smile and the best foot forward. And, if I have an opportunity to be kind to them, to do that, and, despite my innate, seemingly inability to forgive and to always want justice. And if I don't see the justice, I'm going to make sure that that it's exacted. And no, I can't be that guy, because, then we don't enjoy our temple experience. Then we don't enjoy our church experience. Then we don't enjoy our family experience.
No, I agree 100% there. But by the same token, we don't advocate to lay down either, because that's also not being Christ-like, right? You need to, you have to find that line where the
Yeah,
battles are, because
the
I'm not
whole
going to lay down for my children's sake, right?
the whole evangelical thing, I've been attacked a lot lately, online from these evangelicals that, they're the same people that are out there protesting General Conference. They're the same ones that they're just, you know, they say all this stuff, and I don't want to say what they say because it's just so offensive. Um, and the thing is that they really believe that we're going to hell and there has to be a justice thing, and that, the LDS are, is this and that and that and this, and you know, they're not willing to see the other side. They're so convinced, and that's pride, that they're in the right, and they use these analogies like, well, Jesus was mean. He went to the temple and he turned over the tables, and he whipped people. And I'm like, okay, that was the Lord's house. It's not the same thing, that we're
That's
talking
righteous
about.
indignation too, right? That's not being mean.
Right.
That's
So, and you
cleansing.
just said it, the words there, righteous indignation, do we really want to be a part of that program? And are we, I asked myself that, over the last couple of years, because, it's a very easy for me to feel self-righteous, in those things, and I've had to learn that despite being right, and even in conversations with my wife where I know I'm right, damn it, you know, it didn't go well for me when I had that attitude. It just when I found people on the road, that are in conversations to where I knew I was right. I didn't think that by defending myself or defending what I knew to be right was the right path. It was still the wrong path. So what is that old saying about walk softly and carrying a big stick? How about attune ourselves, kind of like the old kung fu story, remember those old movies of, kung fu and what was that? What was that? Was it just kung fu? Is that what it was called back in the 70s, where the guy was always quiet and
David Carradine, Gung Fu.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He's always
I love
watching.
that. I love that
Yeah.
story. It's one of my favorites, that, and I love that calmness, and you had to fight when you had to fight, but it wasn't until it came right to your doorstep and there was no other, you're not going to turn around and run, but
Well,
but
even if you could, I guess.
I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.